We're back. Now that you know how to register for Illumin, Julie and I want to tell you a little bit more about how you can keep track of your student learning outcomes. We're also going to tell you about what marketable skills are and then how to use the educational planner in Illumin to keep track of those outcomes. But first, let's have a better understanding of what are student learning outcomes. Julie?
Sure, Jolinda. So, student learning outcomes, and we refer to them as SLOs for their initials, they are a group of statements that specify what you will be learning in each one of your classes. And as a student, you will be required to demonstrate your knowledge of these particular outcomes. Every syllabus that we have for the school has your set of student learning outcomes listed for you. So all your instructors here at SAC, whether they're full-time or part-time, as well as the dual credit instructors, are all required to report your progress every semester on every course on every one of your student learning outcomes.
And they do that by requiring you to complete assessments or assignments in your classes. And this all then ties to your marketable skills. Every outcome for your courses are then linked to the marketable skills. Why are the marketable skills important to you? Well, these are the things then that you're learning here at San Antonio College from all the different courses that you're taking that will then transfer on. So for example, what are you doing in your speech class that then leads you to help you with communication once you graduate and go on to a four-year university, or you go straight into the workforce. So it's really important to start learning how the outcomes from a course maps to the marketable skill. That way you can see how these courses are really benefiting you. And when they benefit you, then you begin to know you've got to perform on these outcomes. So the first thing in understanding how are you doing on the outcomes is you've got to log into Illumin again.
So again, use your username and password. And of course, if you don't remember your password, then click the Forgot Password blue highlighted area, and then that'll give you the prompts so that you can create a unique password again.
When you get into Illumin, then you're going to see your home page. And from the home page, it will show you the list of courses that you're currently taking. But in order to see really specifics on your outcome, you're going to want to click on the Educational Planner. When you open the Educational Planner, it's going to give you a list of the courses that you're currently taking. In order to see how you're doing in that particular course, you need to find the course and click Ongoing. When you click the Ongoing, it then expands out the course and you learn more about it. So for example, you'll see your instructor's name, you'll see the course description, and then you'll see the different assessments that instructor is using to measure how you're doing on your student learning outcomes. So for example, under the assessments, there are several different assessments, and then if you look at the status of it, it will tell you if it has been scored or not. If you wanted to learn then more specifically how you did on the assessment, then you can click on the actual assessment like the research paper, and then it shows you the outcomes that were attached to that assessment. So maybe not all outcomes go to that assessment, maybe just one or two. In this instance, 2 outcomes were assessed with that research paper. Then on the back end, your instructor has gone in and looked at that assessment and said, wow, this student exceeded my expectations. You will either see exceeds expectations, meets expectations, or does not meet expectations. So you're really looking for that exceeds and meets. The goal is then, if you go in and you see that you did not meet the expectations of the outcomes, then you should do something about that. What could you do, Julie?
Well, there's, several things you can do. You can immediately go back to your books and your lessons or your assignments and then see what you have missed and how you can remediate that. I also think that it's a great time for you to set up an appointment to speak with your instructor to see what you can do to then master those particular student learning outcomes. Remember, especially in courses that build on each other, if you have not met the expectations of one student learning outcome, it could impact you in later courses. So you want to keep track of those and then try to go back and then review material that you may have missed on the onset, but certainly you can catch up with really quickly. So this is a really important screen to look at. And you'll know immediately when you come into this page, because if you have met or exceeded the expectations, those tabs will light up in green. But if you did not meet the expectations this time, the tab will light up in red. So it is a very quick indicator that you may want to spend a little bit more time on that particular student learning outcome. And in many courses, the instructors are giving more than just one chance in order to master that student learning outcome. So that would be something that you could also add in your conversation with your instructor.
Great. Now you have a better understanding of the educational planner and how you can keep track of how you're doing on your student learning outcomes. Up next, portfolios in eLumen.